Hi guys, this is Matt again on behalf of StrongSideTactical.com with part 3 of the Essential Carbine series, the trigger group. The standard AR-15 USGI trigger group consists of 3 mechanical parts which work together to fire the round. Those 3 parts are the hammer, the disconnector, and the trigger. And these 3 parts work in unison by using 2 trigger pins which go through the lower receiver and 2 springs which are used to unload the trigger and the hammer. The standard AR-15 trigger is a single stage trigger and breaks on average at about 7 to 8 pounds of pull. There's a large amount of variability in the feel of USGI triggers between rifles. Some feel gritty and break sharply, whereas others may feel sloppy or mushy and creep before they break. The positive of a USGI trigger, however, is its reliability. When properly lubed and worn in, a quality USGI trigger made by a reputable manufacturer is more than adequate to provide speed, accuracy, and durability. There are numerous available aftermarket triggers for the AR-15 rifle and its variants. Most are drop-in units or either 3-place replacement triggers similar to the standard USGI trigger. If you're thinking about replacing the USGI trigger group in your AR-15 rifle, here are a few thoughts to consider. AR-15 trigger groups come in 1-stage and 2-stage variations. A 1-stage trigger has no take-up, and the first movement of the trigger to the rear breaks the shot. These triggers function in an identical fashion to the USGI trigger, but may be tuned to be lighter and break at a lower pull weight, and also may feel smoother to the shooter. One excellent example of a tuned single-stage trigger is the CMC competition trigger group, which you can see installed in this lower receiver. This trigger group breaks the shot at about 3.5 pounds with a crisp trigger pull with no take-up. An incredible feature of this trigger group is how fast it can be installed into the rifle, as it's a complete drop-in unit with minimal assembly required. A 2-stage trigger group has an initial stage which takes up the slack in the trigger and a second stage which breaks the shot. Typically, the first stage requires about a 2 to 3 pound pull, and then the trigger meets resistance. This is the second stage, which will then require another 2 to 3 pounds of pull to break the shot. This type of trigger is popular with both long-distance shooters who demand the highest degree of accuracy from the rifle, as well as tactical shooters who want a light, fast trigger. Under quick, repetitive fire, a 2-stage trigger behaves as a light 1-stage trigger if the shooter only allows his finger to release the trigger just enough to reset. There are many companies which offer quality 2-stage triggers, some being Rock River Arms, JP, Timney, Jard, Jewel, and Geisley Automatics. In this lower receiver, you can see an excellent Geisley Automatics Super Semi-Auto 2-stage trigger with a 2.5 pound first stage and a 2 pound second stage. I've fired thousands of rounds with this trigger flawlessly. The AR-15 trigger group is one of the most vital moving parts of the rifle. This is the part of the rifle which transfers energy from the shooter to the firing mechanism and plays a large role in the accuracy of the shot. Proper trigger technique is essential with whatever trigger group you employ to get the most out of your AR-15. Many shooters effectively shoot standard USGI triggers both quickly and accurately. However, there are many options to either upgrade your standard trigger or replace it with a tuned aftermarket trigger group for better performance. Expect to spend anywhere from $100 to $300 for a quality aftermarket AR-15 trigger group, and be sure it's installed correctly and professionally to ensure proper semi-automatic function. Check out some of the trigger upgrades available today at StrongSideTactical.com, and you might just get on target a little more often with your AR-15 rifle. Thanks for joining me, and be sure to check in next time for part 4 of the Essential Carbine series, the upper receiver and bolt carrier group, perhaps the most vital part in the AR-15 rifle. Be sure to stop by StrongSideTactical.com and click the like button on the Strong Side Facebook page. See you next time.